Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Rana, nice to have you here in Detroit, coming from Florida.
I came all the way here just to see you.
I know Rana because she's actually my realtor, helping me buy a nice vacation home in Florida. I told her that it's been one of my goals, for those of you listening that know this, to get a property either waterfront or with a pool by the beach that has good Airbnb rentals that could, pay off the mortgage or get close to paying off the mortgage. And that also I could use, when it's not being leveraged. And we've been on this hunt for what, maybe 3-4 months now?
Yeah.
At first, I'm like, you're not following up with me enough. I'm like, what's going on? But then, you told me something very important, that like you only send stuff that hits, you only want to send good listings. And you did. Every single one you sent me has been definitely something that's been jaw dropping for me, because it's like, wow, all right, this is the one. Then it was like, oh no, this might be the one. And we've been kind of going back and forth on that. And hopefully we found one. So
Absolutely.
That's good. I consider myself expert in the mortgage field. I've been doing mortgages for the last 10 years and consulting. And I think you're an expert in the real estate field as far as a great realtor, and you sell, exotic properties, good locations, and you're in Florida, which is one of the places that people look at. So I wanted you to bring you on today to just pretty much discuss, top traits of being a realtor, top traits of being, a mortgage loan expert, how those commingle together, and then also talk a little bit about the market and about investing and what you think is going to be happening with real estate. So welcome to the show.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. So who do you work for?
I work with the Chad Carroll Group.
Okay. So how long have you been doing
I've been doing real estate for about 5 years now. And when Ali reached out to me, I wasn't sending consistent properties. I don't just put you on an automatic, let me just send a whole bunch of properties for you guys just to look at and sift through.
Yeah.
My biggest thing is going through each property, trying to figure out and adjusting really what it is that you guys are asking me for.
So important.
And before I'm sending that. So obviously you guys wanted a waterfront property, something that you could potentially add value to, do some construction in. That really wasn't what was really in the market at the time.
Yeah.
A lot of times people's concern, especially in this market, is how long something or a listing has been sitting on the market.
That's important.
That's, something that a lot of people aren't realizing, that the days on the market now, it's averaging 90 to, almost 200 days, which is very normal. So I think it's important to address that whatever's people's concerns are, whether it be price or how many days on the market, it's important to go ahead and adjust these types of things in the conversations that you and I had.
Mm-hmm.
I realized quickly that you guys wanted Airbnb, an investment property that I was currently producing, and I readjusted you guys to not necessarily a waterfront property, but something that is a high producing, just blocks away from the beach, and I thought that was a lot more beneficial for you guys.
Well, okay, so let's pause right there, because that's very important. The fact that a lot of realtors out there, they ask you, what do you want? You tell them what you want. They send you stuff for what you want, but they don't send you anything else, and a lot of times I tell people, like, you gotta intrigue me and convince me of why I should get something else. Maybe it's not exactly what I wanted, but maybe it still makes sense. So in your case, I wanted a waterfront property, which we found a couple, but they didn't make as much sense. You found one that wasn't a waterfront property, but it had a pool, it has good listings, and it's a block away from the beach.
Correct.
And then you called me and you convinced me, like, hey, I know this is not waterfront, but check it out. And you FaceTimed me while you were there. You talked me into it, and I'm like, that's a good investment. I'm sold. Let's make an offer. And that was because the work that you did, because you were the professional, and you told me, this is not exactly what you wanted, but I think this makes sense according to your goals, which were A, B, and C. Right?
Absolutely.
And a lot of realtors don't do that. You know how many realtors I've went through that don't even follow up with a good cadence or with custom touch? Like, they just send you like, oh, here's the listings, go check it out. It's not like, hey, you said that the school is important for your kid, check out the school and the stats of this. Like, not even digging deep enough to know what's a real emotional value of purchasing this property and how could you customize that to me. I feel like a lot of salespeople, not only realtors, but they're going to the lazy end of automation and just blasting stuff out and forgetting about the custom touch, which I think made me great in sales my whole career and my whole life.
Absolutely. And that was a huge part, because actually, so what I did is instead of just looking at what was just currently on the market, I went ahead and I searched certain areas and looked for expired listings, canceled listings, which is a huge factor in this market, because a lot of times these sellers currently are feeling like they're not necessarily putting a lot of trust in the agents, because they're seeing that, the property's not moving. Not necessarily all the time the agent's fault, but whatever it is, they're constantly trying to change and move around with different agents. So what I did is I pinpointed a specific area, called a lot of expired listings, canceled listings, things that were not on the market, things that I saw more potential in a specific house, and I would literally call the owner myself and I'd say, hey, I actually have a buyer. Your property would be really perfect for them. If you're interested in selling this, let me know. I could put you guys in touch. I got a few leads off of that actually, which is great, but...
We see you did something additional.
Yes.
You didn't just go look for listings. You look for expired listings and delistings, right?
Correct.
Which is something that's an additional thing that nobody really does. Now you're doing that. That adds value to you as a realtor, you see? Because now I know working with you, I'm not only going to get the same houses that everyone's going to get me. I'm going to get houses that came off the market, houses that people change their mind on. You're going to look above and beyond the criteria to find the right house. So like, ding, that's one notch to your personal brand, right? Already.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. I think those things are very, very important to go. You get a lead. Someone could go ahead and ask you, if they ask me for a specific place, or it's my job to very much go into the details of what it is that you guys want, the specifications, and try and really go beyond that. And that's the way to go beyond it, just to get the sale done. I'm not here to rack up leads. I'm here to actually make the sale, get the deal done, whatever it is, to see do you really want something? A lot of times people in South Florida, people moving there, it's a very transient place. It's a lot of investment property, not necessarily somewhere where people primarily just stay 12 months out of the year for the most part. So they think they might want a specific area because they heard their mom's father, sister, told them about this one place. But that's not really what they want. That's not the best thing for them. So you really have to go beyond that and try and work as best as possible to get the details and put them somewhere else. I had some clients from New Jersey recently. Yeah. They were specifically only Miami. Like, we love Miami. We want a condo. Yeah. Whole 9 yards. Yeah. They came to town and I said, you know what, I'm going to take you guys, let's get in the car. I took them to Fort Lauderdale. Yeah. And I drove them around Fort Lauderdale. I took them to the beach. I took them downtown, kind of showed them what I thought was a little bit better suited for them. Next thing I know, they're only interested in Fort Lauderdale. They closed on a house last week, and after specifically telling me they only want Miami, condo in Miami, they ended up in a townhouse out in Fort Lauderdale. Yeah. Just because getting those specifications and really trying to dive deeper into what it is that you really need, even though you might not know in that moment, but it's good to change things up. Because
you're the professional, so they're coming in for one thing, but you're using your expertise to tell them, hey, this might be something else that you're good for. Like, a client might come on the phone with me and they might say, hey, I want a 15-year mortgage. It's not like, okay, here's a 15-year mortgage right away. Like, I ask questions, so how are we doing in assets? How many kids do you have? What's the goal behind this 15-year mortgage? Why are you trying to pay off the house faster? And by the end of the call, I might be like, hey, you need a 30-year cash out mortgage to pay off all your debts because you're living right now and not investing and not getting ready for retirement. So maybe you don't need a 15-year mortgage.
Exactly.
So I'm selling them what they actually need because I'm asking the right questions and being curious and then advising, after I dissect their situation, advising what they actually need. Another realtor, so this building here I'm leasing.
Sure.
But I wanted to buy a building last year and I couldn't find one and I was in a time crunch, so I leased this building. The realtor that was helping me find the building to lease, well, this lease is up next month. He hasn't called me in the last 11 months. Do you not think I might want a commercial property by next month? Or is it too late now? I have to renew this lease because you never called me one time and I never had time to call you.
Right.
So it's like a lot of the nurturing of clients is missing.
Absolutely.
Except if it's like automatic, like they all just send automatic things. Oh, house just sold. Here's what my team closed this month. I could give a less what your team closed. I don't care what house you just sold. All I care about is, hey, here's my situation. What could you email me, text me, and call me about my situation? You haven't told me anything about my situation. You haven't even thought about me. All you've done is put me in an email list. And a lot of times it's like, dude, you could have called me and you could have talked me into commercial property for this building 4 months early and I could have renovated it and I could have been ready right now.
Absolutely. It's all about adjusting that search. And that's why, especially with you guys, I know exactly what you guys were looking for just based off of minimal conversation. But you guys, in regards to lending, huge factor in also how I do deals. So even before I go under contract on anything, a lot of times I'll go ahead and I'll send a specific address. I'll say, if this is, my client's lender, I will call that lender. I want to have a great relationship with the lender first and say, hey, what can we do in this situation on this house, or especially specifically with condos as well, to help them get what they want, because I think this is great for them. How could you help me or help all of us to make this happen for them? You guys have a lot of creative things that I'm not a lender. I can't really have that conversation with my clients. So it's really important to be involved in not just specifying, the search and what I'm sending, but also staying in contact with the lender, which is the biggest part of the transaction in this case. And you guys really help push things forward, especially when we stay involved and stay in contact, trying to make it happen for the client. And I mean, the goal is to close the deal.
Yeah, and communication's huge. I think like when I work with the realtor, I want to send like email communication, text group threads to the realtor, the seller's agent, buyer's agent, every step of the process. So like, damn, this guy's on top of his shit.
Absolutely.
Like he is keeping us informed every step of the process. At conditional approval, before the appraisal, after the appraisal, clear to close, congrats on the closing, and then everybody gets congratulated at the same time. And like that kind of communication I try to do, and I try to teach my bankers out there to do the same thing. Like if you have a realtor, CC them on every email. Don't wait for them to check up on you. You check up on them and tell them exactly what's going on, because that communication goes a long way. I worked with financial advisors before, and that was one of the things they appreciated. When they got a client and they're trying to expand their portfolio and use their money out of their houses to do more investments, well, those financial advisors are waiting for you to get the deal done. So if you're not telling them every step of the way what's going on, and they have to reach out to you and say, hey, what's going on with my client's deal, they get upset.
Absolutely.
So like I got used to that clear communication, and I try to now I have automated steps through the process where everybody gets notified, but I still throw in the personal custom touch a lot of times as well to make sure that everyone's engaged, because I appreciate that.
I love that, and I love that work ethic as well. The minute somebody goes under contract, I have a full congratulations email that I set up between everybody that's in the transaction, myself, the buyers, lender, inspector. So obviously I do a full service real estate. A lot of the things that I do is I'm beyond the close kind of an agent, where I'm helping all of my clients literally every step of the way. So like when we're under contract, I send that email out. And I already know that I have 3 inspectors that I'm calling and saying, hey, we have 3 days. I need you in here tomorrow. In that email, I'm like, I already set up inspection for you and, put everyone together, but everyone's constantly, involved. It's amazing that we think, as adults that, most people know, they should know about the entire transaction and how buying a house works, but really nobody knows. It's insane how much you don't know what goes into the transaction itself. So keeping them updated and just, it helps a lot. And that's how you and I get a lot of our business. We talked about this before. Referrals, referrals, referrals. A lot of people, I don't pay for any generational leads or, Zillow or anything like that. I don't need to. Why? Because I do the right thing. I do right by my client, keep them updated, and next thing you know, I'm getting a call from a friend or a family, and that goes a long way.
And you saw a lot of houses. I think you sold, what's your record, 7 houses in a month?
Yes.
These are
this
houses.
month they say it's a down market, but I don't feel that. You put in the work, you do the right thing, like you said, not sending automatic emails and really just locking into what it is that they want and going a little bit beyond that takes time. Takes time to get on a bunch of calls and try and convince people to sell their house because I think it's the perfect house for my client, and you never know. Florida's a transient market like that. You never know who wants to sell.
What do you think about the real estate market right now?
You
think it's going up, going down, or staying stagnant?
I think it's very stable. It's beyond any other market, I'd say.
It's its own market.
The prices went up very quickly in a short period of time. So, but when you think about the entire lifestyle of what Florida has to offer and the bigger picture of everything, it was undervalued for many, many years. So when people see prices jumping from $500,000 to going up to 1.5 in just a span of 3 years, they don't understand that it was undervalued. You're actually a block away from the water. You're 10 minutes away from the airport, 20 minutes Fort Lauderdale, 20 minutes to Miami. Location is everything. A lot of people don't see that these huge jumps in certain areas that were not really looked at beforehand. The value's there. So like now it's leveled out. A lot of times what we're seeing in this current market is that the sellers are putting the their house is up on the market a little bit more overpriced, but they're very much anticipating a large negotiation.
Yeah.
It's not a $30,000 negotiation anymore. They're okay with seeing $100,000 off, $150,000 off of that price, because they know that there's going to be, the buyers are here for it. They want a good deal, and when you're getting $150,000 off of the actual list price.
Yeah. So is it a good time to sell, good time to buy, or a good time to do both?
I think it's a good time to do both.
Okay.
I don't see a reason why it's bad to buy or sell at this point. The market is very stable. We're, priced well, priced fairly. Negotiation is available to us, and yeah, a lot of people are concerned with the rates. How do you feel about the rates?
I feel like the rates are as hot as they've ever been in a long time.
I agree.
I did a 4.375 today for somebody on a 5-year ARM on a 30-year transaction, so rates are not bad at all. I tell people jump in right now with the interest rates.
1,000%. And I think they have, the media is putting out there a huge misunderstanding in regards to the rates, but the rates are normal. This is what we're going to see. This is our generation, and we're not going to see the 2%, 3% that we saw back in, a few years ago.
And,
that doesn't exist.
One of the things that you have to be good at is recognizing patterns, and if you recognize patterns, there's billionaires and millionaires right now that are buying neighborhoods at a time, like Jeff Bezos, And why are they buying neighborhoods at a time? Because they want to put these houses up publicly for rents and have people invest in these companies that are buying neighborhoods at a time. So if you see billionaires that are buying houses, you should buy houses. I mean, that's a sign, right?
Absolutely.
So there's never a bad time to start in real estate. I think the cost of waiting is way more expensive than the cost of doing it now for slightly higher rate or a slightly higher value. I tell people that are waiting to buy a house right now, I say, okay, let's say you wait till next year to buy a house because the interest rates go down to 2.99. It's a frenzy again. Well, what's going to happen when you go to buy that same house? You're going to have a bunch of people trying to buy the same house because the rate's lower. Then guess what happens then? You got to over offer, and you got to throw more money on it, and you end up losing more than what you lost or potentially lost on the 1% interest of $48 a month difference.
Exactly.
When you finance it over 30 years. So a lot of times, those are the kind of things I tell realtors, like, hey, I'll get your client ready. I'll make them move forward, so I like to kind of help the realtor with getting their clients ready.
That's what I'm saying. That's why our relationship as agents and with the lenders is very important.
Yeah.
Because we close the deal together. I could put so much out there, but if I feel like something is really the right thing, without your help and, your creativity and getting that monthly payment to where we need to be, they don't know that. The client really doesn't understand how we can really maneuver things to make that happen for them. They just say, they're calculating, price, tax, bunch of other things, and they think that they're going to be their monthly, payment, but there's ways around it for sure.
So how important do you think it is to have the right realtor during a transaction?
It's the most important thing. But what is, it's a vague question for me, because it's like, what is the right realtor? Like what would make somebody the best in what they do other than what you and I said? Like, for me, it's like I said, it's not putting out there just random automatic emails and things like that. It's about the relationship that I have with you. It's about the relationship that I have with the client. I don't have to call you every single day unless you're asking me to, but let's talk about really the specifications and narrow it down, and you and I work together to make it happen, because honestly, what's most important is how much they're paying out of pocket every month and their expenses and things like that, but you and I can really alleviate those things. So it's about being educated on not just finding them what they want because they just want a pool or an updated bathroom or something like that.
It's about understanding their true goals and their true life, and then putting yourself in their shoes and saying, what would I do from a consulting perspective for this person to help them out and help move them forward. And then there's also like getting up early and doing the work and sending the emails and doing the research and driving to houses. Like, when I help people create a personal brand, all a personal brand is what are the extra things you're doing to be extraordinary over the ordinary? Yeah. Because ordinary is regular things. So you already listed a couple of things. So if I was consulting you right now and I wanted to create a personal brand for you, I would say, well, number one, you know the inspectors, you know the people that do the renovations, you know the appraisal companies, you know the Airbnb rental companies.
Correct.
Those are all things in your personal brand. Like, not only am I a realtor, I could help you with connections on the Airbnb side.
Yes.
I could help you with the inspections. I get my hands dirty. Like, that's one extra thing for you on your personal brand. The second extra thing that I said earlier was what for your personal brand? I said there's one more thing that you do that nobody else does. Oh yeah, that you go after delistings and expired listings as well.
Yes.
Which is like another thing. So if I was creating an email and a text template for you, if you were like getting leads, which you don't, you work on referrals, which is fine. But like I would have that in your email brand at the bottom. Like, hey, here's some things you could expect from me that you don't expect from others. I don't only go after the listings that are public. I go after delistings, expired listings, and I have a lot of connections to talk to people with houses that are not on the market.
Absolutely.
Wow, I want to work with you now because now I got a special group of houses that nobody else has.
Absolutely.
That kills the competition, that kills the negotiating.
Yep.
And then number two, I'm going to deal with the inspector. I have the Airbnb companies, management companies. I can help you with the rentals. I can show up at the house. I'm going to take care. Boom, that's another thing.
Yeah. Compass has a huge platform, which is, I absolutely love working with Compass and for Compass because of that exact reason, is that they have these tools set up for us to, even just on my phone. I have an app right now. I could get into it. We have also something called private exclusive, which is only for Compass agents, and Compass is obviously nationwide. So I have the opportunity, let's just say that somebody doesn't necessarily want to list their house right now. They don't know what price they're going to get. I could give them a market report of what I think that they can get for their house. But this is a tool that I can put them on the market on a private exclusive market that doesn't show up any days, like any history or anything like that. But it puts it out there to agents. I could put the price, if they want to list it at $2 million, but I think it's only worth 1.5, we could go ahead and we could test that market out. We could get some calls, get some feedback. People can come see the property. So it really gives us an opportunity to gauge a house, basically show our my motivation and my, dedication to that listing without having it listed and them really losing on that property for any reason.
Yeah. Well, you got a great company, Compass, and they do offer a lot of resources. And there's a lot of companies that offer great resources, but it's about you actually executing, taking those resources and doing something with it. Because there's a lot of people that have all these resources and they don't really do anything with them. So I still believe like your resources are great, the company's great for providing those, but you're the one doing the work and executing on it and making that part of your brand, which is nice.
Yeah, definitely. Something else I really like doing actually is, for instance, I have a specific contractor company that I work with. I'm very strict on referrals and referring people to, especially contractors. But I very, very much trust this one company that I work with and I've been working with for a while. Sometimes I will add a property to a showing list that maybe, the client necessarily didn't look into because they couldn't look past a certain thing, maybe like as a remodeled bathroom or a kitchen or whatever it is, maybe flooring. So without even them knowing, I bring the contractor, have them meet me at the showing. They take some measurements. They give that client a better idea as to, hey, this small thing, even though everything else is perfect, because everyone's looking for the perfect property, but you're going to find things here and there that you don't like, and then it kind of makes it impossible. So for me, it's important to make that happen. If nobody can come to some sort of a conclusion, this is only going to cost you this much extra to do, which is really not that much for you guys to make a decision on everything else that's perfect in the house. And it's easy and it can be done in this amount of time, and it kind of puts that into perspective. So then their decisions become a little bit easier. They're like, yeah, that's not bad actually.
Oh, good. That's another additional thing that you're doing. Is that you're helping them with even getting a good price for the thing that's missing in the house, and you're providing it for them. So these are all the things I'm just telling you, like these are the things that I consult people when I make personal brands. A lot of times people don't have these things in personal brands. I'm like, that's your problem. You want to just use a personal brand and say, hey, I could close your loan this fast and I've been doing this for this long. It's not a personal brand. What is all the shit you do that nobody else does? That's your personal brand. And if you don't have any things that you do that nobody else does, well, put your head to the drawing paper and start creating some things that you could start doing that nobody else does that's needed, because every single product, service, or industry, there's a lot of additional things you could be doing to give somebody the wow factor. And that's what it's about.
Absolutely.
This Mastering the Mortgage World, this is my new masterclass for mortgages. It comes with a blueprint and broken up in tabs, a 90-day planner to help you execute, a playbook with scripting, and then a virtual training academy with weekly live calls. So one of the sections in here, a massive section, is earning the business with realtors. And I'm going to tell you what's inside of it, and I want to get your thought process on it, because a lot of brokers that I consult and work with, they're trying to get realtors business, and they're like to me, hey, what's your advice on getting a realtor's business? Like they have a realtor. The realtor sends their business mostly to somebody that the company knows or they know, and they're like comfortable with this person, right? So that person's typically the main chick. And I'm like, hey, just because they're the main chick doesn't mean a side chick can't creep up and show up enough times with value to be like, okay, this person keeps showing up, right? But what are you showing up with? So like inside of this section, we talk about like, number one, find what the realtor is missing or find what's important to them, right? What's the most important thing to you in your realtor business?
In regards to?
Like what's something that you hold that's very important to you? Like something along your process, like what part of the process is the most important to you with conducting business with your clients?
I don't even know.
Okay, for example, let's say that you were into open houses, like you love doing open houses.
Sure.
Okay. And I knew that. How did I know that? Because I did a little bit of work. Like it says in here, research the realtor. Like I could search up your social media, your website,
Correct.
Ask questions, and I could figure out like, okay, this is Rana, this is her page. I feel like open houses are important to her because I've seen her do a bunch of them. She's always talking about them. She's geeked up about them. So then, okay, I know you like open houses, so then how do I show up with value? I'm like, you know what? If she likes open houses, I want to show up and, kind of accommodate or do something additional for her open houses. So I would hit you up and say, hey, don't want any of your business. I've seen what you're doing. I love what you're doing. But I'll tell you, I'm the best person to bring to open houses, and I want to show you why. Invite me to one of them. I don't need any business from you. I just want to show you and have some fun. I'll bring my camera crew. I'll bring a DJ with some nice music. I'll bring the accommodations, and this is going to be one of the best open houses you ever seen. You might be like, how would you respond to that text?
Definitely open to it.
Right? Because
Yeah.
I didn't just hit you up and say,
Absolutely.
hey, do you have any business for me? Hey, could you give me a shot?
Absolutely.
Which is what a lot of people are doing. Then I have the one-time opportunity inside the open house to really wow you. It's either I go there and I'm not shit and you're like, this guy, or I go there and it's like, wow, this guy's like crazy. What the hell did he just do? Like I go there, put on a show, I collect clients' information, then at the end I'm like, hey Rana, I'm gonna CC you in every email. Then you see 50 emails after, you're like, holy shit, this guy just emailed 50 people that showed up to the open house, following up with them for me. And then I start sending you people, hey, this one's interested, they might make an offer, call me. Like, what the hell? This guy's doing my job for me.
Absolutely.
And then, are you gonna give me business then?
Of course.
Of course, right?
course.
Because I came in there like a CEO and not like an
100%.
assistant, somebody begging for business.
100%.
So that's one of the things that it says in the book and in the course. It says like find what's important to them and then provide value there. And even if I go to the open house and then like we don't get any business from it, but then every single week I'll send you a tip on an open house. I'll come available for the open houses. I'll do stuff with the contact list that you got and I'll convert them into other buyers. But like I'm gonna provide value to you and create something where you're like, holy shit, this guy is sweet. I need to work with him.
Huge.
Again, it's about the
Yes.
wow factor.
Yes.
The second part is find what's missing if you can't find what's important. So right now, you don't do any social media.
I do try and stay active, but it's difficult to do it on your own,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
But it's a huge presence and it's very important.
Got it. So I realize that, right? So that's something that's missing in your business. So now if I hit you up and I'm like, hey, I've been doing mortgages for a decade. I consult mortgages and real estate, and I have a good background, and I work with a bunch of lenders, and I can do this, this, and this. But that's not why I'm reaching out to you. I'm actually reaching out to you because I noticed that your social media presence wasn't as strong as it could be. I actually have a social media team that edits videos. I could help you with content ideas, and I could have somebody do the posting for you.
Sign me up.
Okay, so I'm like, and by the way,
Sign me up.
By the way, we created you a free video, and I took videos of you that were online, and I
Yep.
gave them to my editor, and I created you a video, and I'm like, we created you a free video for an ad for yourself, and I made you a badass ad for yourself. You look all that, then are you gonna work with me?
Absolutely.
Why? Because I did something out of the box. I went and provided value to your social media business, which has nothing to do with me doing a mortgage with you and you being the realtor and sending me business, but I provided value to something that was missing. So that's a second segment, and it also talks about how you have to do the research to find out what's missing. So we go deep on those two things, and then we go deep on providing custom value to that realtor on either what's important or missing over and over again. Then you'll get the business. And that's just like one part of this masterclass that we created.
I absolutely love this entire program. You're not just, like you said, you're not just putting yourself on a piece of paper and saying, oh, whatever happens here happens.
Yeah.
I could put your logo on literally every open house listing, whatever it is, flyer that I put in there, but you're really going beyond that, and I love that. Because at the end of the day, as agents, we're on our own. It's our own business. We have to do and be good at every single part of everything, whether it's social media, searching. We have to know something about everything. So having that help and that backup from especially the biggest part of the deal, which is the lending part, it's a huge factor. We're putting ourselves out there. You're helping me in a place where I don't have time for, and could definitely.
Do you
go
ever
a long
have
way.
Brokers reach out to you and ask you to send them business?
Yes.
What is the most annoying thing you get?
They're just emails. Just random emails, people from out of state send us some business and we'll give you 25%. Well, I already know that, but how else can you help me? What else are we going to be able to do to kind of connect?
They're not doing the work. That's
No.
what it comes down to.
No.
Nobody wants to do the work, and the work is getting uncomfortable, figuring out what's important or unique to somebody, then creating a master plan based off that, executing on that master plan. That's a lot of shit to do. But do you want to be the top 5-10%, or do you want to be the average 90%? And that's what the difference is.
I think where a lot of times the agents, where we struggle is what we're putting our time into. And that's another huge factor. So obviously that's just like one way is to send that email out and ask for referrals, but having somebody else to back up that, idea of getting referrals from, specific states or certain areas, it takes a lot more work.
Yeah.
My team very much is, huge, and a big part of our team is prospecting, getting on calls. Chad and a lot of the team has this whole thing where, from 8 in the morning till, 12 calls, just cold calls. So and it's a consistent thing. And we have a huge follow-up on how many times we follow up with them every day or every week or whatever it is. So following up is also a huge thing, but it takes time. So
And it's funny you
where
say
we
that
gotta
8
put
to
our
12
time.
because we do the same thing 8 to 12 here. It's like new leads, hot leads,
Yep.
last 7-day leads. Like we need to go hard from 8 to 12. You shouldn't be doing anything else.
Yeah. Where do you guys have a specific area or a specific thing that you typically focus on in regards to when you do make those calls?
What do you mean?
Like when you guys do cold calls?
Not cold calls. These
Oh,
are
okay.
warm leads that already acquired.
leads.
Yeah.
Okay, got
yeah.
it.
No, we don't have to do cold calls.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you guys, approach those calls?
We approach them like there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and we got to figure out where that light is. I mean, because when you're talking about financing, you're talking about money, or you're talking about purchase, and everybody needs a better house, bigger house, nicer house, investment house, and everybody needs to save money or make better investments. So, I mean, we're selling cash.
What do you
Anybody-
guys think the biggest objective for a lot of the people that are kind of on the fence of?
Biggest objection is they love their interest rate that they have right now, and they don't think it's worth it to refinance into a higher rate, or they don't think it's worth it to purchase at a higher rate. And what they're really missing is that, what's more important at the end of the month? Is it just seeing a nice little interest rate on a piece of paper, or is it saving thousands of dollars a month, taking your kids to summer camp where they've wanted to go for 2 years, taking your wife or husband on vacation, like reducing the overtime. So these are all the pains that we got to uncover and tell them hey, I know you love your 2.99. It's not a big deal. It'll drop again. We'll get it for you. But the biggest deal right now is these pain points that we talked about, not enjoying life. Or if it's purchasing, the biggest deal right now is having your 3 kids in one bedroom arguing all day. They need a bigger house. And while you're waiting for these rates to go down for a bigger house, you're going to be, handling more challenges with more offers and having to offer more. So trust me, right now is the time. When everyone's on the fence is when you move. So having those conversations with people.
Gotcha. In regards to the actual program, how are you guys getting or finding the actual agents that are signing up and wanting to be a part of this specific program?
So this specific program is mostly for brokers, and they're supposed to take that information and go get realtors with it.
Okay.
So there is no realtors that were really signing up here. I do training for some realtor companies, but this is more for the mortgage side. Hey, if you want to help convert realtors, this is what you need to do.
I got you.
But there might be something there with what you're saying with bringing realtors in and saying, hey, here's how we do business, which is what I want to do with, what's his name?
With Chad.
With Chad, show Chad like, hey, here's what we're about, here's what we do, here's my experience, and I'd love to, have an opportunity with you. One hack I give in there, and tell me if this hack would work, is if you really want a realtor's business, reach out to them and say like, hey, Rana, I know you probably got someone that you send your business to right now, but do me a favor. I'm an expert at getting people ready that are not ready. Why don't you give me a list of all the people that are not ready that you consider your cold clients, and let me show you what I could do with them. And then I take your list of what you prefer to be garbage, and I call them all, and I'm like, hey, this person's actually ready. They're tired of renting. I talked them into it. Help find them a house. Like, that's one hack that you could do.
100%.
Another hack I talk about is like, hey, call a realtor and say like, hey, I'm willing to lose money on the first deal. Here, I'll take 0 comp on it just to earn your trust. And the third hack I talk about is, what if I buy purchase leads and I send you some, and I'm like, hey, these clients want to purchase, and you're like, oh shit, this person's sending me business. So there's hacks in there as well to get a realtor's business.
Absolutely. Any help that we could get, not just, my eyes don't just light up when you're telling me that you're going to give me leads, because that gives me
more work.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I just feel like it's
give you a qualified lead ready to go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I could definitely help, obviously if I get that call and somebody wants my business, well, how are we going to help each other do this? Like, I'm willing to, if you called him, yesterday, I'm going to call him tomorrow.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to follow up with him. Hey,
yeah,
I hope you had a great, you had a great conversation with Ali. Let me know any, your feedback. It's all about us just really working together and making sure that we're after and consistent with these, with
100%.
these leads. Yeah.
So let me ask you, because there might be people listening that are realtors that are struggling maybe. Mm-hmm. You've only been doing this for how long?
5 years.
5 years. What advice would you have for a realtor that's maybe struggling or starting off in their career of what to do right now?
Honestly, consistency, and I know that sounds very vague, but it's a very vast field, and sometimes we get lost in the idea of where should we start, what should we be focusing on, how to really just hone in on something, and being consistent and really trying to find your niche in whatever it is that you think you're really great at, whether it's a specific neighborhood or teaming up with lenders to get leads that way, and just continuing following up. Start small.
Okay, so find a strategy and stay consistent with it.
Yeah, and stay consistent. And don't think that you need to, do the most and do everything. Like I said, there's so many different avenues that we could take within real estate to continue to keep our business going. But it's about it's okay, be humble, take it one step at a time, start small, and things will build.
Yeah.
But building relationships is huge in the industry, especially with people like you guys. I loved the fact that you were talking about with clients and keeping them updated and following up, because that's where that works for me.
Yeah.
Is that consistency.
Yeah. Did you find success year one, or did you struggle year one?
I found a lot of success in year one.
How'd you find success so fast? Was it the company you were with? How'd you make the connections?
Absolutely. The company I'm with the Chad Carroll Group.
Did they give you all the business, or did you find your own?
No, it was all of my own business, but it was the credibility behind the actual team and the numbers that we do, which continue to hold me up, in that value of, oh, she does really well. And my consistency with, my clients, I built a team. Most important thing is that I built that team around my business, meaning lender, title, inspector. I wanted to do everything for my clients. Florida is a market where they're coming in, they're investing. I mainly focused on investment properties, selling Airbnbs. So I learned how to make the numbers work, see if they did work for them by teaming up with the lender. What do they need to make every month? Is this property going to be able to, do that? Put them together with a management company, so on and so forth. So the entire package for me was a big deal. So I created that team, and buyer would come, put their hands up, and I'm like, I got everything for you.
Nice.
Yeah.
And did you ever have a bad month, and what did you do about it?
Yeah, went through a very dry patch, obviously, last year, and did a lot of following up. Mm-hmm. But not in regards to like a sales follow-up. It was more of just reaching out, saying hello, congratulating some of my past clients that maybe purchased in the years before, saying hello, just be a friend, be helpful, ask if they have questions, having conversations that are more on a friendly basis, on a personal basis, than it is on like a salesy, pitchy way. When I meet people, instantly say, yeah, I'm in real estate, I'm a realtor, or, oh, where do you live? No, I give more value in being helpful than I do trying to pitch them on a sale or what it is that I want from them. What can I do for you?
I love
for
that.
free?
Because a lot of times, like when you're reaching out to somebody, not for a sale, not to close them, just reaching out genuinely to check up on them, the sales will come naturally.
Yeah.
Because people's lives are always changing, and while you're calling people, you'll figure things out.
Yeah. Oh, I'm working with an agent. That's great. If you ever have any questions or want a second opinion on anything, I'm happy to go ahead and give you that, my feedback on something. I'm just here as a friend. I want to just help. And I got a call today, actually, right before I came in here. Some guy called, and I don't know, I guess my name populated on apartments.com or something. He asked me a question, and I said to him, sir, I have nothing to do with this listing, but let me see what I can do to find out, and maybe I can help you with something.
Nice.
Got on, did a few quick searches. It took me literally 30 seconds just to give him the information that he needed. I said, this is the number that you can call for support at apartments.com. I don't have anything else, any other information. He goes, actually, do you have a minute? I go, yeah. Started to talk to me about his brother that has a house in, a city, talking about selling. And the conversation from there was just,
And it could turn into a referral because you did something extra where you didn't have to, just being a genuine good person.
Yeah, exactly. I took 30 more seconds to just let him know I don't know anything about this, but here's the support number if you want to call them.
All those small things add up.
Yeah, and now my number is saved in his phone, and I'm sure he will call at some point.
Got it. Any advice you need from me on any opportunities? I've been consulting for a long time in sales, business, realtors, mortgage agents. Anything that you have an opportunity with or want to know about?
This conversation today motivates me a lot to put my focus into the part of the business that maybe I've been lacking on, which is I've had enough business right now that I haven't been so good in the follow-up game.
Yeah.
But now, after this conversation with you, I want to go back and I want to pull a list of people, organize this list, and sit down with you and say, hey, what can we do about these people? And let's have these conversations and see where they're at and how we can go ahead and get them back into this space where they're feeling comfortable about something that they're just unsure about.
For sure, yeah. I would make scripting for them, text, voicemails, emails, and call them, check up on their life and figure out, do they need another investment house? Do they need to downsize? Do they need to upsize?
Absolutely.
Do they need cash out? And we'll figure it out from there. We could do that.
Yeah, I love that. Conversations lead from one to another to another. If it's not that person, they know somebody.
Yeah.
And you're at the top of their mind. Why? Because you called them that day.
Yeah.
And that's why I think social media presence is huge.
Yeah, and I've been thinking about starting a realtor academy with a master class for realtors because it's a lot of the same stuff. It's just different messaging.
Training, that's a lot of the times, people get into this industry, and because there's so much going on, training is a huge factor.
Yeah, I've done training for Keller Williams before. That's why I want to talk to your guy and see if maybe I could come in there, be a public speaker for them, do a presentation, show them what I could do and help on the sales side, and then maybe that could lead to more business with them. That's another example of custom value. I could talk to them about that and see like, hey, what if I make your realtors like way more sharky?
Absolutely, absolutely.
So I like that.
Yeah, it's a big team, so.
Yeah. Well, where do people find you that are listening? How do they find you?
Social media.
Rana, spell it. R-A-N-A?
R-A-N-A, yep.
And last name?
Tillawi. Rana Realty Miami.
Rana Realty Miami.
Yes.
All right, and we'll put your information here in the bio. The editing team will hook that up for you.
That sounds great.
All right, well, thanks for being part of the show.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
This is Acez and Rana, and we are out.